Today I have my personal trainer, Renny Stopford, joining us, where we're going to talk about the problem of staying fit while you're traveling on the road in
Yeah,
really awful, nasty hotel rooms. So, on
yeah,
that note, Renny, if you just want, I know this is your second time we've had a conversation about the connection between fitness and well-being and business success. And so, we've been together for what, 6 years now, I think it's going on
something
that.
like that. Yeah, quite a
Something like
while.
that. It's been a long
Yeah,
time. So just introduce yourself to everybody.
yeah. So Susan solves problems in businesses, right? And I'm basically solving problems for people's bodies as they go through life, right? Trying to help them improve their well-being physically. And whenever somebody improves their lives physically with personal training or any kind of fitness, their mental health improves, and then consequently their work life probably improves as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely when you're traveling, that can be a very challenging time to keep moving, right? If you're especially if you're traveling long distances, you're probably jet lagged, and so when somebody is super tired, they're less motivated to move, right? However, there's actually a good amount of science that shows that when you're fatigued, exercise, especially cardiovascular exercise, is going to offset a lot of the sort of the damaging effects of the lack of sleep. So I definitely would recommend that if you're traveling overseas, if you're jet lagged, especially that even a small like 30-minute workout is a lot better than nothing.
And nothing. So, this came about, we were talking during a session because we always chit chat about everything. Just the challenge and the kind of equipment that you need or don't need in order to get a real workout going. Like I was traveling a lot last summer, but it was more in a vehicle. So I was able to carry one of my smaller kettlebells and I was able to carry my yoga mat and a couple of
Yeah,
my bands. But when you're flying on a plane, a kettlebell and those kinds of things are not an option. So
yeah.
I'm really excited about today because you're not only going to talk about what you can do in a hotel room, but you're also
Mhm.
going to demonstrate some
Yeah.
things.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
So the one thing to know about fitness, like, I mean, not everybody has been exercising as intensely as Susan for years. So, like, let's say if somebody hasn't been really working out all that much, they you don't actually need a lot of equipment to make a big difference. Okay, so the when we just move from no exercise to some exercise, that's the biggest step. Okay, and then there's diminishing returns, but the resistance generally goes down as well. So all that to say, we don't need a lot of equipment. Equipment is a bonus, but if you're stuck in a hotel room, you can still get a great workout. Okay, so do you want me to just jump into
Yeah,
showing people? Okay,
absolutely. Absolutely. Just
okay.
while you're jumping into that, I think the other bottom line that you can do anywhere, forget about the hotel room, is walking, right?
Oh yeah,
As a
absolutely.
fundamental, getting outside and making sure you're getting in a decent paced walk
Yeah.
regularly.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, there's no magic number of steps, really. Like the whole 10,000 step thing, uh, that is not a magic number, okay? The average person in North America takes about between 6 to 7,000 steps a day, right? And if we can get that up, a couple thousand more than that, that's fantastic, right? So if you can get up to 8,000, you're doing a lot better than the average person. But if you can get up to 15,000, it's even better, right?
Right.
Once you get up above 15,000, it becomes, again, it's like diminishing returns.
Yeah.
So it's really, and it takes a lot of time.
Okay.
Um, so yeah, everybody keep in mind, everybody's going to be starting a totally different level of fitness, but these exercises that I'm going to demonstrate, they're going to apply to a lot of different people. There's some at the end that could be only if you're super fit or if you've been
Right.
exercising with a trainer maybe for years.
So let me give my caveat here that we do not recommend you participate in any exercises that you don't feel cleared by your doctor or yourself to participate in. And so demonstration purposes only, but certainly encourage everybody to work towards what Rennie is going to show you.
Yeah. Okay, so imagine you're in a hotel room, possibly not the cleanest floor. So we're going to avoid exercises that you go down on the floor for. Um, Basically, we're going to focus on three different categories. Okay, so step one, you're going to warm up your lower body. Okay, and so the first one you want to practice is called knee circles. Okay, so the feet are together and the knees are together, and we do circles like this. Okay, so we're basically drawing a nice big circle, right? Preferably barefoot, but socks might keep your feet from
Touching the dirty floor.
the dirty carpet, right?
Right, or put a towel down is also an option, and folks, I can tell you this looks really simple, but the burn that you feel in your legs by doing this, you'll be kind of like shocked at the burn that you'll feel in your legs from this
Yeah.
exercise.
So with all of these, don't worry about counting the reps. Focus on the level of fatigue that you feel. Okay. If generally if an exercise feels super easy, keep going or choose a harder version of it until it feels either somewhat hard or very hard. We don't need to go in like as to absolute muscular failure. Um, but yeah, make it challenging. Okay. So once the knees are warmed up, we're going to work on kickstand hinge. So we put one foot back a little bit like this on the ball of your foot. You keep the weight on the front leg. You're going to reach your arms out and back as we hinge. Okay, so as we bend over, we want to make sure that the back doesn't round. So we go up, stand tall, straightening the standing leg, and then we're hinging again. Notice my knee is not locked like this, and it's not bent like this. It's somewhere in between. Okay, so you should feel that kind of stretching down the back of your leg. All right, so we're going to practice those. I would
And
suggest
Rennie, what is that warming up? So the hamstring, but what else are you gonna feel from
we're
that?
gonna, it's mostly the posterior chain. So any hinge movement is going to work the back of your hamstring, your calf, your glutes, your lower back, right? It's quite a few different hinge movements, but this single leg version is a lot harder than it looks. So if you do 20 to 30 per leg, it's probably going to be in a good range for most people. Okay, so the kickstand hinges. Okay, the next one after that, we're going to go like this: march, 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 and balance. See if you can close our eyes here. And then we're going to go march, 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 and we're pausing with the opposite arm up and leg. Okay, so when we're here, make sure the standing leg is locked. We go 1, 2, pause. 1, 2, pause. If you close your eyes every time here, right? This kind of exercise is going to help your balance, but it's also going to make you run faster. It's going to improve the health of the hips. Okay, so with that one, just keep going for maybe a minute or two. Okay, the next one is called standing pigeons. Okay, so with this one, I would put your hands on the wall. You're going to put your foot up on the thigh, wherever it's comfortable. This one is an incredible yoga exercise. Okay, so we're like this, and we're going to sink down a little bit until you feel a stretch in this glute, right? And the standing leg, you'll probably feel that leg working, right? The bum, you might feel your quad. But yeah, if you don't have the balance that I do, touch a wall.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can you turn sideways so people can see that what your posture
Yeah.
is on that as
This
well?
one, I'm bending this standing leg a little bit, and I'm flexing this foot. That's going to keep my knee safe. Okay. So flex the foot up towards the shin, sinking down, and we're just going to hold it until it's challenging, right?
And if you're
You'll,
super advanced, again, you could maybe even try to close your eyes on that, but be very careful, right?
oh yeah, if you have great balance, feel free to do that. Okay, the next one is also from yoga. It's called a warrior 3. Yeah, Susan's one of Susan's favorites, I'm
I love
sure.
it. Yeah, I love it.
So arms straight out. You can do different arm positions, but I would start with this one. Okay, so we're going to pull the shoulders back. and you balance like this. Okay, so from the side, try to get as low as you can. So I'm trying to make the body parallel to the floor. But if you've got tight hamstrings, you might just be here. Okay. If you continue to stretch over the years, you're going to get lower and lower like this until you're nice and parallel to the floor. Okay, so with that one, usually about 30 seconds per side, but maybe a little bit less, maybe a little bit more. And if, again, with that, touch something. So we don't want it to just feel like balance. You want it to actually feel tiring in the leg. So warrior three, it's a really good one for your lower body. Okay. One more yoga thing. We're going to step one foot back really far. Both legs are pointing forwards. And then we reach up really high. Okay. I'll show you from the side. So
this is a crescent lunge, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Exactly.
This is hard. This is one of the hardest stretches, I find.
Yeah, it's an amazing stretch for the back hip flexor, for whichever leg is back. Yeah. And then if you reach up high like this, you should feel this front leg working quite hard. Okay. So one issue, a lot of people, one mistake is that people will let this back foot turn outwards, right? Or they don't bend the front leg enough. So make sure we're bending this front knee a little and reaching really high so you feel a stretch in the front of this hip.
Yeah. The other thing I find with the crescent lunge is if your feet are, you don't want your feet lined up too much, like too close, because you need that stability. So that back leg is usually out a fair amount, just so that you're stable when you're reaching up.
Yeah, exactly. If we want to think about like two train tracks, right? And if they're in line, it's going to be bad for, it's just too challenging for your stability often. Yeah. Okay. And so now after you've done all those lower body things, then we move on to squats. Okay. So this one, regular body weight squats. If you're in a hotel room, these are going to build a lot of leg strength if you do them properly. Okay, so we're going to push our knees out, try to keep the chest up. You're going to find a width that feels comfortable for you. Squat down and squeeze your whole body down. Feel free to pause right here and then up fast. Okay. The reason I do this after all those other exercises is that your knees are going to be much less likely to get hurt if you've done that stuff first. Okay. And with squats, they are one of the most important exercises we can do. So I would suggest do a set until it's hard for you, whether that's, I might do 75, somebody else might do 20, some people might do 150, but I would do 3 sets until it feels like say an 8 out of 10 effort. Because we're more with the bodyweight squats, we're mostly going for endurance, like strength endurance. We're not going to build incredible strength, but it's more for the health. You're going to get cardio, you're going to get blood flow throughout the body. So it's going to translate when you do start doing squats with weight. These bodyweight squats are going to help a ton.
And that pause at the bottom, the longer you hold it, the less reps you're going to do. So there's that balance between that hold and repetition as well. And you probably don't want to have a longer pause if you're just starting off doing these kinds of squats. Right?
Yeah, 100%. For a lot of people, if they hold that too long when they're not ready for it, their blood pressure is going to go through the roof, and then the lactic acid will just make you feel really sick. So that if you haven't been working out much, that burning feeling is something to avoid, because you can only handle so much, right? We don't want to ruin the workout. If you cause yourself too much fatigue earlier on in the workout, you're not going to be able to get through the rest. Okay. So after we've done the leg stuff, we're going to move on. Okay. So one thing to keep in mind is your core, when we're doing all those leg things, your core is getting engaged, right? So even though we're not doing strenuous core exercises on the floor, when you combine these lower body things with upper body,
Yeah.
you're definitely getting some core work as well. It comes by accident essentially.
Yeah.
Okay, so your upper core function. Okay, first of all, or your upper body function, I should say. So we're gonna reach up really high with the palm pointing outwards, right? And we're gonna come down,
I
down,
hate
down,
these. I hate these. Just they're awful, but they're good.
reaching across here. So we're gonna try to tighten the arm as much as possible. They look super easy, but if you actually move your arm properly, it's not easy at all. We're trying to explore the full range of motion.
Yeah.
We're reaching across here, okay, and then reversing. The thumb is pointing back. Then we turn, thumb comes down, right? Internal rotation, pull back, right? These are called controlled articular rotations or CARs, okay? It seems silly, but this can make a huge difference for your shoulder health.
Yeah, the thing is you're going on the left side there that's really fascinating about cars for me, like they're hard. I have shoulder issues from too many years of carrying a briefcase around the world on a plane. And so these are extremely challenging for anybody with shoulder issues, but you'll find that there's a burn that happens and there's a cardio element to this, just that focus on that stretch and that rotation. It's really quite shocking how much you feel the work that you're putting into it.
Yeah, the cars are unlike any other type of mobility or strength. They're basically like somewhere directly in the middle. So the way that they function is that because we're working on the end ranges of motion, first of all, with rotation. So most people don't spend nearly enough time at all these end ranges of motion for each joint. And the shoulder joint is the most unstable joint that we have, right? So that's why I think that this car exercise is probably the most important one for the upper body at the very least. The cat cows or different types of cat cows are basically like they're a cars exercise but for your spine. Okay,
Right.
so those are super popular. A lot of people maybe they don't think about them as a cars, but that's really what they are. Okay, so all right, so that's shoulder curves, right? We're drawing those big circles, and then we're going to do scapular curves. Okay, so with the arm nice and locked, we're going to basically just roll from the shoulder blade. Okay, so instead of the glenohumeral joint here, we're going to move the scapula, right? And just do one side at a time, big circles. Okay, so you can do it with your arm straight down. You can also do it with your arm pointing forwards. Okay, big circles both directions. Okay, and we're going to do both sides, right? So the next one, scarecrows. Okay, nobody likes scarecrows.
No.
We're going to pull our shoulders back, right back here, rotate up, sliding up high, down, rotate. So you should feel a little bit like you're doing a slow motion robot dance. We're gonna slide up. When you're doing this, think about tucking your bum under and squeezing your belly a little. So we're not getting this sort of lordosis,
Yeah.
right? You're gonna engage, and that way we're actually just moving from the shoulders. Okay, so reach forward, pulling back. So this will do a lot for preventing rotator cuff issues. It's amazing how many people have rotator cuff issues or
Me.
neck pain. Neck
Like it's
pain.
so much better over the years of working with you. Like when I see you do this one, I think about the trap burn that happens after you've done this, 5, 7 reps in.
Yeah,
The trap workout is incredible.
yeah. Oh
Yeah.
my God, yeah. I mean, all sorts of different muscles are involved with that. But one thing to know is that this overhead position it's amazing how many people are lacking that, and it's a use it or lose it situation. Some people will never lose it, even if they don't use it, but most of us will. Okay, the vast majority of us, we don't have very many reasons to raise our arms. If we're not in school anymore, we don't
Yeah.
have to raise our arms,
Right.
right? So it's yeah, ask questions, raise your arms, find some reason to reach your arms over your head. Doing shoulder press is a good way to do it. Doing hanging, doing pull-ups, or just hanging from a bar is another good thing. Okay, so once we've got our shoulders nice and warm with the cars, with the scarecrows, just watch this. We're gonna go find a wall in the hotel room. Okay, you got a wall. Put the hands on the wall. All right, go up on your toes. And then we're gonna do push-ups.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you can go on your fingertips if that feels, for me, that feels more comfortable. But if that feels too challenging on your hands, you can go flat, okay? This way, when I'm on my fingertips, I can get a nice finger workout as well. You can see how my elbows are tracking over top of my wrists. And if that's easy, feel free to go down and hold. Okay, if that's still easy, you can go on one hand. Okay, when you go on one hand like this, I would definitely go flat, and you're gonna feel a lot more core. Okay, see how
And
I'm
Rennie, where are your hands, like you said, at your chest level, just in terms of positioning of the hand?
around, right around my shoulder level.
Okay.
Okay, you'll find with the wall push-ups, if you go, you can't go quite as low. It's gonna stretch your wrist too much if you go really low. Okay, but you can see how I'm alternating sides. This is a challenging level of difficulty, but feel free to change your hand position. Okay, so we can go like this, we can go up high, but the basic one is like so. Nice and slowly, pause, and up. Okay? There's lots of different levels for every exercise, as usual.
Yeah.
Okay? So that's our upper body portion, okay? After you've got your lower body done, got your upper body done, we're going to move on to more intense stuff. This is going to get your blood flowing, right? And it's also just really good for the brain, right? If you're going to be in meetings all day, we have to get the brain working. Around 80% of the brain can be accessed with the body alone through movement. Okay, so if we want to prevent brain diseases and dementia, exercise should be very close to the, if not at the very top of the list. Okay, for prevention, and that's a combination of reasons. I mean, it's the movements themselves will cause the brain to be stay connected and
Yeah.
involved, but it's also the blood flow, right, from doing cardio. So skipping on the spot. So like the classic schoolyard skipping, right? And you can jump nice and high, right? You find a level of hop that feels comfortable for you, right? You can, but generally this sort of speed, that's a great speed, okay? Horse stance, okay?
Yeah.
So we're gonna get down, show you from the side. So our legs are wide. We're gonna keep our backs nice and tall. Come down like this. We're punching. Okay, so nice fast punches. And the arms stay down low. We don't want to have our arms up high. Try that. If you exhale as you punch, the core is going to engage a lot more.
Yeah,
So
the key thing that you taught me with the horse stance is that tucking your bum underneath is really important because a lot of people they lean over in the horse stance, and there's a massive
Yeah.
difference.
I used to do it like this
Yeah,
until I learned better.
yeah,
This is, I mean, the horse stance is traditionally, it's used in a lot of different martial arts because it's a grounded position, and if somebody's trying to push you over, or if they're gonna punch you, you're not gonna go anywhere. Okay,
yeah,
so I'm already sweating a little bit. So the skipping on the spot, the horse stance with punches, they're amazing. Very unlikely to hurt anybody. Okay, body weight swings are next. So this is another hinge movement. So our feet are close together with this one. We're gonna hinge, feel the stretch. Start out slowly. Okay, the arms come down. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. In, out. Right, and you can add a jump. Right, so that kind of, the faster you go, the harder it's going to stretch your hamstrings, right? And that's really the key, is to have that cyclical movement where we're stretching the hamstrings,
yeah,
very much like a kettlebell swing, right? Or a snatch, or in, you know, a lot of professional athletes will do power cleans with a barbell, okay? And that sort of fast hinge movement is the most athletic strength exercise you can do. Okay, so skater jumps. Everybody loves skater jumps, even non-skaters.
yeah,
Okay, we're gonna hop, hop. Okay, start out nice and slowly. Feel the ground. Feel nice and stable before you jump. You don't have to make massive jumps. Just start small, where you feel comfortable, and then maybe go a little bit faster and a little bit bigger. Just make sure that you don't trip on any kettlebells or
yeah.
anything else.
Don't stub your toe on one of those. That would not be fun.
No. Okay, so from the side, you'll see that I'm in like a hinge. Okay.
Yeah. Notice everybody how Rennie's back, like keeping your back straight in all of these exercises is really important. Uh, just to posture. Posture in working out is what protects your back and protects you from injury.
Yeah, and now a lot of the time it's subconscious, right? For me, it's become sort of, it's just something that I do naturally, right? And as you get fitter, that's more and more the goal, is like, if you, your body is going to learn how that it actually feels better if your back is straight. So I think with posture, uh, we wanted to start out conscious, like with conscious decisions to improve it, and then with practice and with exercises, it's just going to come more and more unconsciously.
Yeah.
Okay. Whew. So now just the challenging ones. Okay, so I would only do these ones if you're confident in your fitness. Okay, if you know that you can, your knees are good. If you have any, if you have any knee issues, definitely don't do these. Okay, so squat jumps. We're gonna squat down low. We're gonna land.
Yeah, I can feel the lactic acid building in your quads, Rennie.
Absolutely. So
Yeah.
I get low. Okay. So if I do sets of 10 like that, nice explosive jumps, my God, I will really feel that.
Yeah.
It really works. Okay. Once you catch your breath, we're going to do lunge jumps. So we go back, and then we're going to jump and balance, do a lunge, balance. Okay. 3, right? So I would go about 10 to 20 on one leg, and then you switch. So we're lunging, jumping and balancing. It's harder than it looks. Okay, so sprinting on the spot. This one is exactly what it sounds like. Okay, knees up high. I would only go for about 10 seconds, right? There's a reason why they've chosen the 100-meter sprint in the Olympics for the ultimate display of, speed,
Power. Yeah.
right? It usually works out to around 10 seconds for the fastest people in the world. Okay, so I'm out of breath just because that is, it's pretty tough. You sprint on the spot for somewhere between 5 to 10 seconds, as fast as you can, knees up high. You're going to be awake for quite a while because the adrenaline it'll get you going. And then the star jumps are another more advanced exercise. Okay, so with the feet together, we're going to squat down and then we're going to explode up. Arms and legs go wide. And you land again. Okay, so that down, right? And you get into that tuck. So again, that is those four will really get you going.
Your cardio is awesome, which is not surprising, but to be able to deliver this kind of a demonstration is a challenge, right?
Yeah, I think I need a towel. Yeah,
Yeah.
that
So
will
what's so
that'll
cool
get you.
about, sorry, go ahead, Rennie.
No, I was just saying that'll get you going for the rest of the day, right? If you have a
Yeah.
cold shower after that kind of workout, it's a
What's
good idea.
amazing with this is that all you need to pack is a pair of running shoes, which everybody travels if they're traveling for more than like a day trip.
Yeah,
Usually you're putting something comfortable on your feet in order to get to wherever you're going. So that's it. It's a pair of runners. You go for your walk after you've done a workout or if you have the time and protecting yourself from the, naturally unsanitary nature of a hotel room floor. But this is really valuable to the business community out there to see that it's possible to break a sweat and have a great workout without any equipment in a hotel room on the road.
yep, absolutely. Yeah, there's never an excuse, but honestly, the mentality that you'll have for the rest of your day, the confidence and just the alertness, if you've had a good even 30 to 60 minutes of movement,
Yeah.
it's a game changer.
It's huge. So everybody, I definitely want to plug Rennie in terms of the value of a personal trainer. For me, the financial commitment of a personal trainer is really critical because I'm paying for something that I show up to 3 days a week. Like that's just math. There are some rare people who have the ability to self-motivate and get to the gym on their own 5 days a week. Most of us don't. And the cool thing about Rennie is that he looks at body, mind, food, nutrition, the whole gambit. And so, Rennie, where can people find you if they're curious? I know you do complimentary, discovery sessions, as we call it in tech.
Yeah, yeah. Discovery sessions. Well, I'll call it a free consultation with
Yep.
anybody that wants to get started. Right. Visit rennytraining.com. Right. You can send me an email directly, renstopford@gmail.com, and we'll get started. Right. Everybody's gonna benefit in some way from training, but
Yep.
I would say that if you're super busy and you don't have time to really become a fitness expert yourself, that oftentimes those are the clients who will benefit the most, right? If you have a chronic health issue and you've got a lot of different conditions that you're dealing with, those also tend to be very common clients for me. So
Yeah.
yeah, busy people need trainers quite often.
They do, and I think one of the things that I love about you is that you're super good at meeting people where they're at, right? It's not.
I try.
And that you're not, yeah, like I bet you're my third or fourth personal trainer, and there's a difference between like a bodybuilder trainer, which is what people that aren't familiar with personal training have this perception that it's all about like mass and
Yeah.
body sculpting, but you are absolutely committed about like total health and wellness, right? Like your
Yeah.
optimal health. It's not about anything else. It's and meeting people where they're at and progressing over time. So
Yeah.
I don't have shoulder issues the way I haven't had frozen shoulder in years because we've developed the mobility and the strength around my shoulder. So just
Yeah.
wanted to send that message out to everybody that it's personal training can feel intimidating, but it isn't if you're with the right trainer, and Rennie's definitely that. So Rennie, thanks for joining today and giving people I can see people going on the road and bookmarking this post and training along with Rennie in
Yeah.
the hotel
Yeah.
room, right? Yeah.
Absolutely. I hope people give it a shot. I mean, all those exercises I demonstrated they're fantastic, and you can really go far with if you start to implement those regularly.
Yeah.
And that, yeah, it'll give you a little taste of movement in the morning.
Awesome. Okay. Well, we're going to call this our quarterly health and wellness session. And so we'll see you again next quarter. We'll talk about something else.
Excellent. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you for having me.
My pleasure.